Many years I have rode by this giant crypt service area, also a place where the dead sleep. They've been sleeping here for over 100 years. I walked in here. The door was wide open with my sister-in-law, who is also a empath, spiritualist, and noticed how beautiful this place of rest really truly was. I looked around and walked around and smelled all kinds of different smells. There was a musty smell, a very cold smell. It was very cold in here, even though it was about 78 degrees outside. We walked around and admired everything. And as we walked around, I kept picking up certain EVPs, or spirits talking to me, more or less. It wasn't really an EVP, but they were talking to me. And in fear of not frightening my sister-in-law, I did not reply and just went and looked around the whole entire vault. It basically was a giant vault. I think from what I felt in there at one time, it was a receiving vault too, which is back in the early days when they didn't have heavy power equipment. They would put the caskets in here in the wintertime, and when spring came along, they would take them out and bury them. Very many old spirits in here. Some were trying to communicate with me. Some were just there. Others were not so friendly. It was dark in there because I did not bring my light attachments to my camera. I should have. Maybe in another video I will. But as this goes on and on, it gets more and more frightening for many people. Me, myself, it's everyday life for me. Being a master of the spirit world for over 50 years, I'm used to communicating with the dead. I was again looking around with my sister-in-law and waited for her to leave because she was getting cold in there, and I thought she'd just leave on her own, and she was walking around, and finally she decided to leave. I noticed like this cast iron statue that had to be 200 or 300 pounds. There was a lot of ornate things in there, a lot of special things that you don't see today. But most of all, I could not believe the graves that were over 100 years old. It was very interesting. I had a variety of smells, a variety of sights I was receiving, and now I will continue with the live feed. Close the gate behind you. Look at this. As I walk through here, I'm feeling all kinds of different things. It's got vaulted ceilings in here. It had fluorescent lights in here. Obviously, there was some leaks in the place. There's a casket holder. As I walked through here more and more, I could smell all these different smells. And it is quite dark in here. And the end is right here. And there's something, there's a drain right here. It goes underneath the building. I don't know if you can see it. I can't see much over here. But, yes. Yes, I hear you, Francis. What can I do for you? What do you want? What do you want? Okay. Well, I do hear you. I hear you too, Carrie. I hear you too, Carrie. And I hear you, Lillian. What do you want to know?
Have you seen my wife?
What do you want to know?
Do you want to know? Where is my wife?
Well, I don't know that. I don't know
I've been
that.
looking for her.
Della, how are you, Della? I'm talking to Della now. Della's asking me all kinds of questions. What am I doing here, she says. I'm admiring how beautiful your place of rest is. And she wants to know
What are you doing here? Why are you here?
why I'm here again. To visit you and admire how beautiful this place is. It's a perfect place to rest. And she's asking me more questions. I don't know that.
What is that in your hand? What is that in your hand? What are you doing with that in your hand?
I would like to. I don't know where he is.
Where is my husband? Have you seen my husband? I miss him so much.
I don't know how they're doing. I think they're doing fine, Della.
How are my girls?
I would hope to think so.
How are my children and my grandchildren?
You miss them. They're not there with you?
I miss my grandchildren. I miss my daughter.
What am I holding? It's a camera. Della, it's a camera, hon. Are you at peace?
Why are you holding that?
What do you mean by
I
that?
am very comfortable, Pat.
I don't
Glad
know
you came
what
to
you
see
mean.
me.
Tell me more.
I miss my auto of roses.
Tell me more, Della.
I miss my auto.
I don't know, Della.
I miss my chickie. I miss
Many
my
people in
children.
here have been dead for
I'm so glad you
some
made
over
it
100
see
years.
me, Pat. Are you
Am
gonna
I
hang
gonna?
my picture up in
No,
your
I'm
room?
not gonna hang your picture up.
Can you get me out
No,
of here?
I can't get you out of here. I can't help you. If you want to, I suggest going into the light every time you see it. When there's a new entombment here, the light will shine. You can go in it then.
Come over here to the other side of the crypt.
I don't know
Come, man. Come to the other side of the crypt.
what happened to your husband. I have no idea.
You dirty son of a bitch and bastard.
Benjamin, why are you yelling at me?
Man, you son of a bitch and bastard.
Benjamin and Mary. I would take husband and wife. They are in here. One died in 1918, one died in 1925. I don't know how your children are. You're not stuck here.
Get out, you son of a bitch. Get the
Okay, I'll leave. Stop yelling at me. Stop yelling. Well, I shooed them spirits off me. A couple things came to mind about Della. One thing, she mentioned Otto of Roses. Twice actually. And she wanted her Jicky too. Otto of Roses and Jicky were very expensive perfumes, which I looked up on purpose, were very expensive perfumes that were popular around the end of the 18th century and the beginning of the 19th century. Plus, I figured if you're a spiritualist or a psychic, you could tell that the gate was wide open, the way I was communicating with these spirits and so on. And it was, I could hear some of them, and others that were recorded while I was speaking, well, they just, not all of them came out, but some did, and this was a proof of the new moon. This new moon happened to be in line with the sun, behind the sun, so it wasn't really visible on the 26th when this was filmed. Also, I noticed that they were calling me by my name. They knew my name, and that was very interesting. So I reached out to Melissa McLaughlin, a renowned spiritualist out of Australia, as to how they knew my name. How did they know my name? And this is what she had to say.
As a spiritualist, I may be one of the very few people that can actually read Pat. And the reason why I say that for is because, and it's actually been clarified in the book by other spiritualists that Pat has met along his journey, that he is an extraordinary spiritualist. He is absolutely amazing. And I really don't believe that people understand how powerful and gifted Pat truly is. He is definitely one of the most greatest spiritualists that that I am extremely blessed to know. Pat actually asked me a question about his experiences when doing crypt readings, and apparently, whilst he's been doing crypt readings, a lot of the spirits actually know who he is and actually mention his name. Now, the reason why, and this is my opinion, why a lot of spirits recognize Pat and know him by name is because of his gift.
Well, I guess I can completely accept that from Melissa McLaughlin, renowned spiritualist out of Australia. The funny part about these EVPs and voices that I actually heard, many did not come through on the video itself. In fact, I could not even highlight or lower the voices because they were all combined in one track with my voice. So if I raised my voice levels, my voice was overbearing. If I lowered everything and tried to raise the other ones, it was nearly impossible. However, there's other things that stick to my mind in this whole supernatural event that took place right there in that crypt, was that many of the spirits that were talking to me did not come through on the video. We'll see what happens when I revisit the place with my camera light. Moving on to the next item. Okay, I'm going to take a little walk under this tree here.
Hey there.
Yeah,
What the hell are you
I
doing
hear you.
here?
Why don't you just...
I hear you.
Why don't you just get the hell away from my grave?
I can't figure out what you're telling me. Slow down.
Get away from me now.
Okay,
Hello.
I'll keep going.
This is Dale. I followed you out of the crypt. I want to be around you.
Very, very old stones. This is kind of like a soothing atmosphere. If you take a look around here, it's very soothing, very soothing. Okay, yeah, Adelaide. Yes.
Why are you walking around here? I want to know why you're here. Why?
I'm visiting.
Where is my son?
I don't know where your son is.
Why don't you know where my son is? Dad told me where you know everything.
I wish I knew.
Tell him that I love him very much and I miss him.
I'll tell him. Thank you. This doesn't even make sense here.
Why don't you answer me? This is Dad.
Alma. Yes, Alma. Well, yeah, good afternoon to you, too.
Tell my son I said I love him and I miss him. Tell him I said hello.
Tell your son that you said hi. Alma passed around 1904. I'll do that if I could. If I run into him, I'll be glad to tell him.
Thank you very much.
Oh, hi, Hattie. Yes, how are you?
Where's my grandchildren?
Oh, I'm sure your grandchildren are fine. I'll see if I can touch base with them. Thank you. Thank you. This is the craziest thing I've ever been in my life at this cemetery. I have not seen such kindness in ages in cemeteries. Usually I get the bad people come after me.
All these people.
Okay, there's some bad stuff coming out of me in my big mouth. I don't get it. Don't get what's happening. This must be the good part over there, the nice people, and this must be the meaner people. Theodore, how are you?
Never mind that. I want my motherfucking money. You got my
You don't have to be
motherfucking-
mean about it. You don't have to be ignorant, Theodore.
Don't be ignorant toward me. Go into the light where you belong.
I don't need no light. I got lights at home.
Another Ella. Hi, Margaret. Your name still reigns in town here. Now there's a bunch of people calling out to me. No, no. Quit screaming. Quit screaming. Quit screaming. I'm going to start heading back because this is getting crazy. Some of these graves are extremely old. Some have no writing on them. I feel bad for some of them that have fallen over like graves like this. There's no names on them. They're gone.
How did I die?
Yes.
Tell me.
I don't know. I don't know how you died, Mary. Why are you here? I don't know why you're here.
Somebody murdered me, and I want to get that son of a bitch.
Hot.
Murdered me, and I'm
Real
choking.
hot. I don't like this freaking heat.
And then they burned
It's a
me
different
in a
experience
fire.
for
They
me.
burned me in a fire. They burned me in
Different
a fire.
experience. Different experience. It seems like the older ones are trying to get in touch with me.
Can you help me?
Philippa. Well, I'm glad to meet you, Philippa. If I'm saying it right. Great. I'm doing fine. I hope you're fine. Oh, you have a message for me.
Watch
Okay,
out for
what's
the
your
big
message?
stone in front of you. Somebody's behind it. Watch out for
Watch
the
out
big stone. you
for the
dummy.
big stone in my front of me. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. There it is. I guess that's it. I'll keep walking to make sure. You know, you just don't know what you're going to get here. But now I come into this weird stone that has actually been wedged in by these two giant pine trees. I mean, it's crazy. You won't be able to get this stone out. It's in three pieces. There's a base, center, and top. It's a cool stone. Very cool stone.
Well, at this point, I decided it was time to leave. Too much was going on. All this energy was exhausting me. It's unbelievable what can transpire when you're gifted and when you're a spiritualist. A lot of these people were calling out for help of some sort. Some were just angry and venting toward me. It just goes to show you, you just don't know what can happen in the spirit world. So we'll see you on the next one. Happy Halloween.